Welcome to a completely normal playthrough of Resident Evil 3. Wait, what? Did I say completely normal playthrough of Resident Evil 3? I meant a randomizer run. The Biorand mod, link in the description below, for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis changes the enemies in rooms, the location of key items, and the orders of the rooms. Depending on the characters you play as, you'll also have randomized voice lines.
But before that, I gotta save Ashley. Given the situation, I think the local officers that came with me are most likely dead. Can't say. What did you say? Guess it's another good reason to get the parasite out of my body. I don't know anything. And even if I did, why would I want to tell you? Damn! I don't believe this. I almost got the story. Somehow I managed to get myself involved with the incident in Raccoon City on my first day in the force. What do you want? I'm trying to sleep here. Get that scum. Make him pay. I have it right here, officer. But I'm not about to leave this cell.
In order to beat the Resident Evil 3 randomizer, all we have to do is find the final room with the railgun, beat Nemesis, and run up to the helicopter. Sounds pretty self-explanatory, right? Well, that's why I added in an additional challenge. See, you can choose what type of enemies you want randomized. And let's just say that the enemy that I chose to be randomized is perhaps the worst of them all. That's right, guys. It's a Nemesis only run. Wish me luck. So what makes Nemesis so dangerous aside from being the titular character? In the base game, Nemesis can pursue you throughout rooms, he can use RPGs, and overall, he is just a relentless hunter. He towers over the player, and he blocks any possible escape. In the randomizer, these problems are amplified because instead of having one in a room with you, you will be having to contend with upwards of 9 Nemesis in one room. Thankfully, Nemesis has an Achilles heel, also known as death, and we can exploit that by shooting military-grade fragmentation rounds into his torso. Normally, Jill starts out with the handgun and the knife in the item box. The randomizer randomizes your starting inventory. We got very fortunate to start off with the grenade launcher and the mine thrower. These two weapons are pretty good against Nemesis, because that's the main enemy that we'll be fighting in a run like this. In particular, Nemesis is very weak to freeze rounds and then, in his later forms, acid rounds. Freeze rounds slow down Nemesis as he's running towards you, and acid rounds do continuous damage over time. So both of them will be vital. And how do we get more freeze and acid rounds independent of what the randomizer gives us? We use one of Resident Evil 3's most unique mechanics, and that is the gunpowder crafting system. You may have noticed those little gunpowder capsules that I've been picking up or had in my inventory. We are going to combine A and B gunpowder to get gunpowder C to make normal grenade rounds, and then we are going to use gunpowder A or gunpowder B or gunpowder C in order to make flame rounds, acid rounds, and freeze rounds. all of which will be very helpful in our Nemesis killing endeavors. It's been a while since I've done any sort of video creation, and I just have to say, I'm so happy to be back. We're so back, and you will be getting more of your cool cat over here, just ranting and raving about my favorite thing in the entire world, which is Resident Evil. So if you liked the previous videos, or if this is your first video, I also recommend watching all the previous ones. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Just engage. I always love talking some more about Resident Evil. And if you have any suggestions for any future runs, any challenge runs, or just any questions about things I may bring up, I'll always be sure to check and respond. Thank you. Hey, wait a minute, Nightcat. I thought you said that this was a Nemesis only run. That doesn't look like Nemesis. Yes, I know. There are some rooms in the randomizer where they have to be a certain type of enemy or else the game crashes. In classic Resident Evil fashion, you have to be standing at a very specific position in order to pick up certain items. So we will be spending the next minute or so trying to angle ourselves to pick up only the items that we need due to our limited inventory space. As you can see, I'm picking up gunpowder here and using it to craft different rounds. You may have noticed that I'm also keeping certain puzzle items, but that's because I played this Biorand seed beforehand, and then I played it again to make sure that the gameplay looked very smooth. And yes, I do save at typewriters.
What do you want? Unacceptable! What? No! It... How can you deny it? Who's the other? You don't fool me! Anyway, I started to feel dizzy, and then I guess I must have lost consciousness. How dare you!
Guys, look, it's the commander of this base. No, really though, it's always such a delight to hear Alfred in the randomizer. Because he's always just crashing out and going insane. You may have noticed on the thumbnail that the run that we are doing is a single segment run. Now, what that means is that instead of having to face multiple sections, we are only doing one very large section. So how the randomizer works is that you will be given a section similar to how the Resident Evil games are set up. So for example, say that we are playing just normal Resident Evil 2. Raccoon City would be one very small section at the beginning, the RPD section is one larger section, the sewers, and then the lab. And that's how the game is structured. So when the randomizer switches up all the orders of the room, it also creates its own sections or its own segments. Now you can decide whether you want one segment or if you want upwards of 4 segments. So I decided to just play one very large segment. So that means that we don't have to fight any intermediate bosses. We will just be going through the randomizer seed and we'll just be facing Nemesis, and then the final room will be the final room that lets us finish the game. Also, something nice is that even if you do want to play with more segments, you aren't going to be locked out of any key items because the randomizer also has something called a safe key placement. So you're not going to find a segment 1 puzzle piece in segment 3 because then you'd soft lock yourself. And if you do soft lock yourself, you can always report the seed to the very nice people at Biorand. So I forgot about this room right here. And the cooking to the inventory is too real. Oh man, it's been a while since I played this seed. Oh, I got jump scared so bad. See, when I'm talking about multiple nemesis in a room. Thankfully, we do not have to fight the nemesis up there in the Steam puzzle room. But later on, we will have to take out entire groups of nemesis in order to progress. So just keep a lookout for that. Oh, you can hear them just waiting. Oh man. Thankfully, doors in Resident Evil seem to be like magic because if you leave a room and then you come back, the enemy positions will reset. Please note that this only happens if the enemies are very, very close to you when you're about to leave the room. Now we get to do everyone's favorite thing, which is backtracking to the nearest item box to get the items that you need. Hooray! When playing through a randomizer run of either Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, or Resident Evil 3, there are two very important things to keep in mind. 1. Make sure that you save frequently. Every single room is random. All the enemies are random. You don't want to lock yourself out or lock yourself in to deadly combat encounters. Number 2, do not feel pressured to clog up your inventory. I am telling you that running around to the nearest item box, which is 20 rooms away, is much, much worse in the randomizer than it is in the vanilla games. You don't need to pick up that blue herb. Trust me, there are 20 of them. Speaking of items in Resident Evil 3 randomizer, you are much less likely to find healing items than you are to find ammunition, gunpowder, and other weapons, alongside puzzle items. If you do happen to find any first aid sprays or herb mixtures, I recommend holding on tightly to those. You probably can't hear it right now, but that was just the sound of my heart jumping into my throat. I realized I was going the wrong way. Nemesis reminded me really quickly. It usually takes me some time to organize my inventory because I have to do it a very specific way each time I play Resident Evil. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yes, even on my speed running runs of the Resident Evil games, I have to maintain this order, but that's a bit of a lengthy process, so I'm just going to speed it up. I like to put my herbs in descending order, then the ink ribbons, and then the ammunition and all the weapons, also in descending order, and then finally we have all the puzzle items. Alright, so this brings us to our very first save of the randomizer run. So now, when we load up back the game, we can always start from this point here. Alright guys, so I know I tossed a lot of techno babble at you in the first 14 minutes of this video, but now you get to see all that techno babble in action, baby. Because so far, we've just been running from Nemesis, but I promise you, all of this prep work, all of this prep time, as Batman would say, is for these upcoming sections here. Because dear God. God. Oh no. Just hearing Nemesis in post-production makes me feel a sort of way. Oh, it reminds me when I was going through this run. Oh my God. See, the checking the inventory before engaging in the room chat, that's how you know we're cooked, actually. what? I'm just gonna use the park key here, and I'm going to go into this next room, and hopefully we will not encounter anything else weird today. Everything looks kind of normal. Oh, nice. Green herb, green herb. Everything's all good.
They must not get many visitors here, because they're giving me one hell of a welcome.
Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella.
I see you've managed to work in a little of your twisted taste here, too.
Yeah? Listen, the stars are going to be finished soon. Someone is a traitor.
According to him, Ashley's in a church somewhere. Get off my back, old man!
Thank God you're safe. No, it's no use. The roots of it are in the basement. You could... Whoa!
As a matter of fact, I did. No.
Now, the worst possible situation has occurred. The failure of the experiment created a virus, a biological weapon, polluting the entire lab.
Wait, don't! Come on!
But I have been doing my best.
Hey, I'm no ordinary civvy. I'm a member of STARS. Nikolai won't be joining us. Come on, let's go. If I can't feel anything, then what does that mean?
My base has been destroyed. And thanks to you, the experimental T-virus was released, creating countless zombies and monsters. The Ashford family is among the world's first and finest. Shortly after you arrived, my base was attacked. You must have informed your people of its location.
That's great, except I have no intention of contributing to your retirement fund.
I am Alfred Ashford, commander of this base. My grandfather is one of the original founders of Umbrella, Inc.
Relax, you're fine.
I am aware of that.
Don't. You fought hard and have the wounds to prove it.
Take it back. Put me with the Nemesis. Please put me back with the Nemesis. Interacting with Nemesis again shouldn't be too bad, because thankfully, Resident Evil 3 has an emergency evasion, or a dodge system. All you have to do is equip a knife or a gun, and you'll be able to perform a dodge if you press the action button when an enemy, such as Nemesis, is gearing up to attack you at just the right time. Unfortunately for us, the dodging system in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is notoriously bad. So the chances of you actually pulling it off, even at higher levels of play, is pretty slim. And yes, sometimes when you are escaping a monster's grasp, you will accidentally dodge regardless. In order to make dodging more consistent, you can always turn your back to an enemy, because this will give you more time to aim. You may have also noticed that when there are multiple Nemesis in a room and one of them fires the rocket launcher, the other one catches on fire. Or you may have noticed that when one Nemesis punches another Nemesis, it emits a pain sound. Well, that's because Nemesis can actually damage Nemesis. So it is possible for multiple Nemesis to kill each other by trying to kill you. And I just think that's so silly, actually. Ultimate bioweapon, take this L, loser! But I digress. Nemesis is a very effective monster, and I absolutely love this randomizer mod. And I like this run especially as well. So I'm definitely going to do more Biorand mods. Um, if you have any suggestions on what type of randomizer you'd like to see, be sure to comment that down below. Also, if you'd like to play the seed that I am currently playing right now, that will also be linked in the description below. Alright, I think I got a bit turned around by coming back into the save room, but now we're going to make some more progress. I also need to remind you that this is actually the nicest version of this run. I get turned around incredibly easily. Like, you can give me a compass, a map, and GPS, and I will still find a way to get confused. So sorry about that. Anyone who has played the original Resident Evil 3 knows that this is a heartbeat selection or a live selection choice. This was Resident Evil's first attempt at doing QuickTime events or interactive cutscenes. It also added for major replayability in the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, because sometimes your choices would determine the outcome. It would also change up cutscenes in the middle of the story. In the vanilla game, choosing the correct choices and picking up documents in a specific order will get you Jill's diary as an unlockable file. It goes into greater detail about what she's thinking, feeling, and doing before the Raccoon City outbreak. Speaking of Jill, did you know that she's actually going to be the main protagonist of Resident Evil 75? You don't tell anybody, but I'm giving you some private information there. I'm leaking some prized info for you guys. Also, this took me too long to realize, but Leon also has Jill's running animation and her animations during cutscenes and live QuickTime events. So that means we are seeing RE4 Leon at his most zesty. And I gotta say, he rocks it pretty good. He really does. You know, this challenge actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be. At first, it was very daunting because I didn't know where anything is, of course. But honestly, learning Nemesis AI and just being able to run around him without even dodging, it's not bad. Like, even just one Nemesis, I'm no longer scared of. So I feel like this is going to help me a lot when I go back to doing challenge runs for base RE3 Nemesis. If we had to fight multiple Nemesis in this small type hallway here, it's places like that that would give us the most trouble. Also, I think that we just got a really lucky seed because Nemesis that are spawning here are only Form 1 Nemesis and Form 2 Nemesis. So that's just Nemesis standard running around, just throwing his fist at us. And then Form 2 is when he actually gets his weapon, the rocket launcher. We don't have to contend with like Tentacle Nemesis, who you fight at the clock tower, or even like his mutated form later on until like the very end. That, and we also started with both the grenade launcher and freeze rounds in the grenade launcher, and even the mine thrower. So I think this seed was just really lucky. And no, I didn't put the seed on easy, it's just on the normal difficulty. So at this point, we should have all the key items that we need in order to finish the randomizer. Now it's just a matter of getting to the exit. If you are the type of person who has a lot of experience playing randomizers and you're getting a bit bored, you should honestly try randomizer races. That's where you and a bunch of your friends, if you have any, if not, you can always go on the Discord server, gear up and you all play the exact same seed and try to see who can complete it first. It's a lot of fun. And I pray that one day I can actually be good enough at the randomizer to actually participate in a race and not immediately get disqualified. Some of the large-scale hosted randomizer races are also charity events, so you'll be getting good at the game while helping other people get good at being alive. You know what? Over there looks really hostile. I'm just gonna limp in here really quickly.
I just lost my daughter out there! How dare you tell me to go back outside?
Let's go home.
Unfortunately, no. But how are you doing? Shit! Gotta get out of here.
That should keep me company, because boredom kills me.
I'll be right there. That's good. Any luck with your brother? Do you copy?
I'm starting to think that 1998 really did take a toll on Leon. I honestly forgot why I was in the pharmacy. I think it was just for that one cutscene and maybe to pick up some of these powders. 'Cause looking back at the footage, this is just a detour. I don't think Nemesis scared me that much. Alright, but it looks like we are back on the riot trail. So let's finish off this randomizer run strong. Most tyrants in the Resident Evil series tend to be right-handed, but Nemesis is special because he can hit you with both his right arm, and when he has his rocket launcher, he fires the RPG with his left hand. So that means the series' staple strategy of just circling the tyrant on his left-hand side is ineffective against Nemesis, which makes sense since he is the ultimate pursuer. I'm sure that you've noticed throughout this run that there are various red explosive boxes and red barrels and other environmental hazards that I could use to theoretically damage Nemesis. I try to avoid using those because, one, there's a chance that I could be standing too close to them and it would hurt me as well. And they actually do a fair bit amount of damage to the player character. And two is because I'm not using the handgun or I'm not using a low level type of weapon. I'm just kind of running through with the grenade launcher. So I don't want to waste precious grenade rounds and gunpowders on barrels that might not work. If you think that this is unoptimized gameplay, please type down in the comments. Give me an entire essay on what I could do better as a Biorand Resident Evil 3 player. Biorand likes to use the most difficult puzzles it can possibly throw at you in order to end its segments. Since we're ending our one segment run, it's going to give us a pretty hard puzzle that requires a lot of pieces. And you'll notice that in the rooms where we need to go, a lot more enemies spawn. This is also by design in order to stop your progress. And while we are taking down the fireplace bricks, Nemesis can kill us in this state. So we have to wait for very specific times in order to heal.
Of course. My client wants this information. They will have to pay for it, and neither you or them can stop me. If you want the last EMP charge, come get it!
Two rats.
Do you really think that I could have done this all alone, comrades?
Why are you...
How do you think I knew where you were going? How did I know about your precious EMP devices?
Looks like this is it.
My client gave me your comm channel. That's right. I've been gathering combat data for Operation Watchdog. You have been most useful in assisting me.
Ah, yeah, guys, bullets for a gun I don't even have.
Warning. Missile attack confirmed. Warning. Missile attack confirmed. Emergency level D. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Fellas, what if you wanted to escape Raccoon City, but then some random Siri knockoff said, missile attack confirmed? Seriously though, I absolutely love the ending segments to Resident Evil. Either in the vanilla game or in the randomizer. There's something just so special about those last few rooms, just leading up to the final confrontation. Like, you're so close! You're so close! And then, of course, you overcome all your fears and all that jazz, but it's just magical, in my opinion. I always go, like, pretty quiet for these moments, no matter how many times I play these games.
Checking system. Checking data. Warning. There is not enough power to activate the system.
So this is what all the grenade rounds were for. Technically, you can beat Final Nemesis without any weapons, but having the grenade launcher definitely helps a lot.
Battery connected.
Whoa, Nemesis, I didn't know you were into that type of freaky stuff, man. Instead of Resident Evil, we should call it Resident Freaky, and everyone just gets freaky all the time. The cable car cutscene really enlightened me. Alright, so the final Nemesis fight in the randomizer functions the exact same as vanilla fight. All you have to do is plug in the 3 batteries, have the railgun fire once to clear the path, plug in all the batteries again, and then have the railgun fire and kill Nemesis while it's standing in the path. Now, something interesting that I did learn while researching for this video was that the railgun actually fires twice. However, your character will only ever get hit once. So you can never die from one 2-shot blast of the railgun, but it's highly recommended you don't stand in the middle of the gigantic railgun. I always found it very interesting how Nemesis, Umbrella's top bioweapon, gets taken out by Umbrella's experimental railgun. I think it really does symbolize that simply having the intention to harm will ultimately always win in the end. Because I know some people, they kind of like say, oh man, how can these rocket launchers and these guns take out the monsters and they compare like all these like stats and whatever else. But to me, I always figured it was more of like a nurture versus nature sort of debate, you know? Like how like manufactured violence breeds like primal animalistic violence. Like it's a combination of both. It's a horrific mutation, and then how does one survive all of that? I think that's the main thing of Resident Evil as a whole, and one of the many, many, many reasons I love this franchise so much.
System overheating. Enter cooldown mode.
here we have it, guys. The final Nemesis kill of the entire all Nemesis single segment Biorand run.
And you mentioned something about me carrying the same blood as them.
Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed that Biorand run. I am back to content creation. Please expect to see more from me. I'm very excited. I hope you are excited as well. And please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement really does help.